Hi Aries, welcome to your May 2019 General Tarot reading. It's raining here, so shuffling the cards. It's a weird light. I could probably open the blinds or whatever, but I'm not going to, just because it's kind of a hot day. Even in April. I'm doing this on Easter, so it's kind of like a hot day. Okay, let's see what this theme is, if there is one. If we can just narrow it down. I like to kind of like cover all the bases. Well, I mean, not all the bases, but more than one. The heart of the matter is the Lover's card, which, you know, it's self-explanatory if it's dealing with some sort of relationship. The Lover's card is connected to Gemini, and of course in May, the sun goes into Gemini, but there might be a person who's a Gemini individual that is featured in your life. The Lover's card, you know, when we talk about love, the Lover's card can be taking your relationship to the next level. So, for instance, you're dating somebody and you decide that you're going to commit to them, or have an intimate relationship, nudge, nudge, wink, wink, instead of just a, you know, casual dating or what have you. And the Lover's card can speak about a choice that has to be made. And yeah, I guess you could even say if somebody's having a third party situation involved, that there's a choice in that sense of like whether or not to be with the current partner or somebody else, or you know, you're waiting for somebody to make a choice. All of those scenarios are possible. In the past position, we have the Queen of Pentacles, and this is a card that is kind of like this, what would you call it, like woman, I don't want to say like a housewife. This could be a woman who has her own career, but she's also ruling the roost and taking care of business at home. Maybe it is kind of like a woman who prefers to be a homemaker. And perhaps in that sense, if that is in the past position, that may be something that you have felt you've been there and done that, and now it's time to move on. And actually, we do have a card that connects to moving on. This is the Six of Swords, and this can actually be a card of physical relocation. In some cases, it can be when the person feels like their current circumstance is too full of conflict and they're trying to escape that for a more peaceful surroundings. So the stress on the domestic influence of the Queen of Pentacles is something that I'm kind of focused on, and saying, you know, what does that mean? Does that mean that this is talking about you and you are leaving that kind of situation because you're like, you felt kind of vulnerable being in that situation, not being out in the world and being at home. This is not, I don't think this is common for Aries women to be like the Queen of Pentacles necessarily, because you do tend to be quite active in the outer world and having your own working in the world rather than working at home. Although there are always going to be those of you who, you may have that tendency, and it may have been something that you feel was a liability, but I don't see it that way at all. If this is your spouse who is representing the lovers, or maybe you were content to do that for a little while, but you always wanted to go back, and there's some conflict with your partner. They assume that you were always going to be at home, those kinds of things. And I think the Six of Swords is the higher message. So there's some reason why you want to leave a particular situation. And the Lover's card could even be going into business with somebody else and, like a partnership. But maybe that's something that isn't satisfactory for you for whatever reason. It didn't work out. I was just laughing. I was thinking about Aries in a partnership, because you really are self-motivated and very independent, and I don't think Aries does that well overall with partners. I think you're better off making all the decisions on your own if you have the ability to. Let me just keep going and see what else comes up here. What crosses you is the Knight of Cups, and this is a card of, the person that, in the upright position, this is like the knight in shining armor. But when this person is like in the reversed position, and even though I picked this card upright, I'm reading it as a reversed card because it's in this particular spot. This person becomes somebody who is emotionally immature, is manipulative, may have a drinking problem, and this may be kind of like a hurdle that you have to go over. And that might feature in what's going on in those top three cards. Maybe you had an affair, and the reason that you did so was because you were unhappy in a marriage or some situation like that, and the Knight of Cups is this person. If they are a literal water sign, they would be a Pisces, Scorpio, or Cancer. Cancer is a sign that I think Aries tend to gravitate to of all the water signs, because it's another cardinal sign. And yes, it forms a square with your sign. But I was just reading that when two signs square up, there's like a sexual attraction. That made perfect sense to me, because I thought, well, even though it's a hard angle, there's got to be some attraction, because I keep observing this over and over again. So the other thing too is that it could be like, even if this is a business situation where somebody is being kind of phony and they're offering the world, they're acting like they have this amazing offer for you, and you may believe them, and that might be to your detriment. Especially if, like, with the Six of Swords, you may be thinking of leaving. This is the spiritual message of saying, yeah, if you were thinking of leaving, this is probably a good idea, because there must be some reason that you feel that way. But the problem is that if you believe somebody's spiel, they could be really a bit deceptive, or yeah, I think that's the best way of putting it. They're promising the moon and the stars, and They don't have, they're kind of like a con artist or something like that, but they're kind of appealing to you emotionally, because they're very manipulative in that sense. And so they may even seem believable. So if you are in some kind of a business arrangement with somebody else, and maybe this is the other party, and you want to leave that, and they are promising that they're going to clean up their act or whatever it is that has been going on, maybe they're just very irresponsible in some way. And I'm saying this especially if they have some kind of an addiction that is keeping them from doing their job properly. And you thought, you were going into something together, and it was going to be a great connection with this person, and it's turned out to be more of a nightmare. Then just realize that trust your instincts. And don't just believe what somebody tells you. Just look at their track record. The advice is the Ace of Wands. This is a perfect card. I always say I'm going to look up and see if this is connected to Aries. It's got to be, because this is fire energy, being wands, aces, beginnings. So this is like starting something new on your own terms. And this could be a new life if you have been married and you're leaving that marriage, or a domestic arrangement, and you are kind of wavering between whether or not to stay or go. Well, this card is like, this is your time to kind of strike out and do what you need to do, because you have this strong desire for independence, and perhaps you've been dealing with another person's baggage for too long. And the outcome is the Eight of Wands. This is one of those cards. This is another fire energy of just things just starting to pop. And yeah, a lot of times this seems how life is. We have like a lulls, and then we have like everything seems to hit us at once. So it might be that once you declare your independence, that then everything starts to come alive for you again. Remember that fire energy is enthusiasm, passion, and perhaps you've been dealing with a lack of that for too long, Aries. Aries is a very passionate sign. You really believe that life should be fun and life should be interesting, and that there shouldn't be stagnation in life. So perhaps that has been the case for you, where you've experienced a lot of stagnation, and now with the Eight of Wands, it's like things are moving again. And I certainly hope that that happens for you. And okay, that's what I have for you, Aries. I hope that some of this resonated with you at least. If you'd like a personal reading, the link is below. Have a great month. Bye.